How you doing, guys? It's your boy Nando, and this is the Pound for Pound Boxing Show in association of Warrenboxingmagement. Today, I got a very special guest, a new member of the Warren family in Queensbury Promotions is Raven Chapman. Let's see if we can get Raven on right now.
Hello.
How you doing, Raven?
Hiya, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Just first of all, thank you for taking your time to speak to us today. It's an absolute pleasure to get you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime. Raven, I just want to get straight to it. Breaking news yesterday. Yep. You're the first female to sign with Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotions for the last 5 years since Nicola Adams. Before I even go into how this even happened, just sum up your feeling of this great deal.
Oh, I'm just, so excited. Can't wait to get started, see how everything goes, Definitely got like plans for what I want to achieve, and I think I can definitely do that with Frank and Queensbury. And yeah, it's just a great platform to do it. And like you say, the only first female since Nicola. I think it would just give me a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I was really eager to take this opportunity and go with it and see what I can do, see how far I can get.
Of course, obviously he helped Nicola go on to win the WBO title. She retired, I think, a little bit too early in her career, and she was undefeated as well. So he helped Nicola a lot. And it's crazy, there's been a back and forth between Frank and Eddie. Eddie recently made comments like I think he said Frank's a dinosaur. He doesn't believe in women's boxing. And then this happened. So how did this deal happen? And was it a no-brainer for you?
Yeah, it was. It was something that I always sort of thought about and was a route I wanted to take when I first turned pro. Just because, like I say, Frank's got such a big platform as well, and BT. The other platforms do have a lot of females in them as well, and you see they're not really getting the fights, 2, maybe 3 tops a year. So it's just something that was definitely on my mind, and obviously I'm managed by Steffi Ball. And his fighter Jason recently signed a deal with Frank as well, and just hearing about how Jason was treating, why he went with Frank and stuff, it was just something I still wanted to do. So I told Steffi, and he made it happen. Sent them pictures, videos of me training, a couple of my fights, because I've had 2 fights already, and yeah, just kind of it happened. And yeah, really excited. Yeah, great.
That's brilliant. Obviously, you're still young. You're still at the start of your career as well. And we know how women's boxing, fast forwards quick compared to the men's boxing when it comes to opportunities of a world title. I'm sure Frank is going to make you the female face of BT Sport as well. But do you think you signing with Frank Warren, this paves the way for these other female fighters who haven't got the big opportunity and might open the door for Frank to invest in more female fighters, in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you see with Nicola, he got Nicola to a world title in 5 fights, and she retired undefeated. And, he had that vision then. And I think it can only be a good thing, especially for me. I love boxing. I train hard. I work hard for everything that I've got. And, we work just as hard as the men. So why shouldn't we have the same opportunities when we do the same work at the end of the day? So yeah, hopefully it can just like pave that way and open those doors even wider for other females like me. And hopefully with my style of fighting, I can change a few people's minds on women's boxing. And people look at me not as just a female boxer, but just as a boxer and a fighter, because that's what we want at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Everyone getting in that ring deserves that respect. And yeah, hopefully one day I can be not just their favorite female fighter, but their favorite fighter, so that's the plan, that's the goal. And hopefully with everything happening now, people will start looking at it like that.
Of course. And how interesting is it now with the whole promotional rivalry and views rivalry now? Because you had Pro Bellum, you got Matchroom, you got MTK Global, you got Boxer. All of them have invested in female boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have signed with Queensbury, and they are there now. How interesting is this going to be now for women's boxing as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. You know, it can build really good rivalries as well between, you know, people in the weights like they have with the men. So it'd be really exciting time, and you know, more people realizing that actually, you know, women can fight, and there's money to be made in it as well from the business sense. Obviously, the promoters are looking at it in a business wise, so they're realizing that there is money to be made in it and really good fights to be made as well. So it just makes sense, and the fact that they're all starting to get on board now just shows how it's going to progress.
For sure. And I'm glad you brought up those rivalries as well, because you're in the featherweight division. Obviously, Amanda Serrano sitting at the top of that. She's going up 2 weight classes to fight Katie Taylor. But you're in such a great division that it could set up like some big fights for yourself. You know, you got the likes of Lucy Wildheart. You got Louise Orton making her pro debut soon as well. You got Leanne Bush, Angelica Finch, but the one that I think sticks out the most, and I think will be a great one for you and for fans, is Ebony Jones. What's your thoughts on a future fight and a domestic fight with Ebony Jones, especially if maybe a title can be on the line?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what it's about. It's about getting those fights with the other top fighters and, you know, really seeing who's the best. And fights like that are what I want. You know, you don't want easy fights. You want to know that you're in a fight, and makes it more exciting and makes it what you train hard for. You don't want someone who's just going to be a pushover. So yeah, like they're the fights that I want in the future. And like I say, with building up the rivalries, it can make it really exciting. Because like you say, that's what they do in the men. They build up the rivalries to that big like pyramid, that point where they meet, and it's exciting, and that's what the female game will eventually get down the line. And it's starting to show now, you know, all the females that are turning over, it's only one way that I can see it happening, and it's going to be things like that to mega fights. You know, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor just goes to show that it does happen, that's built up to a massive mega fight. And how has that sold? It's been crazy. You know, it's the biggest female fight, second biggest pre-sale at you know, Madison Square Garden. So it's, you know, it's not about the fact that it's females or it's males. You know, these fights that sell are fights that sell, whether you're female or male.
I totally agree. And what a mega fight that is as well. And you as a boxing fan and as a female fighter, who wins that fight and why? Raven, can you hear me?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
That's
me,
okay. I don't know
if you heard me. Yeah, I got your question.
Okay.
For me, I definitely sort of favour Amanda Serrano, more for the experience that she's got. Her record, you know, says it, the amount of knockouts that she's got on her record as well. And I think in her last few fights, she's looked really, really quite impressive, where I think Katie sort of looked like she's dipped a little bit. I think maybe people have found her out a little bit. I'm not too sure, but I think, like I say, it'll be a great fight, whatever. It's a great clash of styles, and it'll just be really interesting. And when I look at records, I just feel like Serrano tips it for me, with better punching power and more experience in the pro game.
With Amanda Serrano winning this, is it a good thing for people like yourself and the other fighters that I mentioned in your division? Because maybe she could stay at lightweight and maybe free up the belts that she has, and it gives more opportunities for fighters like yourself and the others who are higher up in the rankings as well.
Yeah, massively. Like, I didn't even really think of that, to be honest. So yeah, hugely opens it up then if that happens. So that's really exciting as well. I know when I turn over, because Amanda was always the one with the belts at the weight I want to contest at. She was always the one I sort of had my sights set on. eventually he was like, well, that's the fight I want, so I'll do whatever I can to get there.
Brilliant. And speaking of the lightweight division, I want to talk about one stablemate of yours, Terri Harper, making her debut at lightweight as well, and she's going to fight Heather Hardy. I just want your opinion on something. From the moment this fight was announced, she and your team, like Steffi Ball, for example, and even Eddie Hearn, received a lot of criticism and said that straight away from the loss with Baumgardner, she's being put in against an experienced former champion like Heather Hardy. I even interviewed Heather Hardy, and she said two things. She said when she first got offered this fight, on a personal perspective, she took it to heart. Like, she took it as, these people don't rate me, so they must think I'm just an easy fight. But then on the other hand is, these people don't care about her because they're just throwing her in the lions then. In your opinion, I know you believe that Terri Harper can get through a fight like this, and especially at a weight that she is comfortable at. But do you think it's too soon against someone like Heather Hardy?
I think it just goes to show how her team really do believe in her. And, you know, I've done hundreds of rounds of sparring with Terri, and I know how good she is. And one loss doesn't reflect. Everyone's trying to get hold of me.
That's okay. Can you hear me?
So yeah, I just think, so I just think one loss on your record doesn't show like how you are and who you are. And, you know, you got to remember, Terri was a world champion before that. She defended the belt. It's not like she went for a world title and didn't make it. She is a world champion, and it's that world champion mindset. I feel it's just how you are when, especially as a fighter, you're not going to go from one and you can try and build yourself back up, but as a champion, you just don't think like that, and you want to, you know, prove yourself again. And Terri's got the ability, she's got the heart, she's good enough to do it. And like you say, she's more natural at this weight, at lightweight. And I think over the years, making that weight and staying low really did take its toll. So I mean, you've seen a few of the clips and pictures of her now. She looks in amazing shape, she looks healthy. So I think, you know, in that sense, she'll be feeling a lot better about it mentally as well. And it just shows everyone believes in her and that she can go straight back in. And she must be feeling good as well to be happy to do it. Because if she wasn't happy to do it, she wouldn't.
Totally agree. Her getting past Heather Hardy, how big of a fight would it be? I don't know how likely it will be next, but in the future, a fight against Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, it'd be huge. Obviously, she needs to set herself up in the lightweights first, beat Heather Hardy, work her way back up, like you say, gain that confidence as well. And yeah, it could happen. It was definitely something that they'd always set their sights on before, when Terri was champion at super feather. So I don't see why it can't happen at lightweight.
Totally agree. It'll be a massive fight regardless. And I think whether Katie Taylor eventually goes up to fight someone like Jessica McCaskill or Chantal, or they come down, any of these fighters, if they came down and fought Terri Harper, will be a massive fight. Whether it's Cameron, McCaskill, or anyone else, I think it's massive. And even Michaela Mayer, which is a fight that fans see, and she
really wanted,
gets undisputed, she will go up as well.
Yeah, massively. And like you say, it's that building those rivalries, isn't it, that make these fights so exciting to watch, because it is the best versus the best. It's not, you know, someone that's levels below or levels above. You know, it's people at the same level that have boxed at that level, are experienced and have that backing behind them. And that's why it's exciting. And that's why women's boxing at the moment is so exciting, because it's built up over the last years that we've got these big names in the game now, and people really want to watch them box and they want to watch them fight each other.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask you what your opinion was of Bob Arum's comments.
I think it's one of those things, like you say, he's one of the older guys in the game, but at the same time, you know, Top Rank do have Michaela Mayer, so they know it in a business sense, it makes sense. And the more top class women's fights there is, the more people are realizing and understanding that we're good as well. We train just as hard, we work just as hard, we put it all on the line, and these are the fights that fans want to watch. They don't want to watch those ones where it's different levels, where you just know who's going to win. You want to be on the edge of the seat and not knowing what's going to happen, and until it happens. And that's why I think the game's getting so big and why everyone's starting to get behind it now.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Before I let you go, do you have a message for your fans, the ones that are going to be tuning in when you finally make your debut? And there's another question I want to ask on top of that as well. I don't know if you are allowed to say anything, but Frank Warren's got a few shows already that he's announced, and he is going to announce as well. He's got March 11th at York Hall. He's got March 19th at Wembley. He's got April in Derby. I think there's one going to be in Birmingham. Is there any idea when we're going to see you make your BT debut?
So at the moment, it'll be around April, May time. That's what I know. I will be at the show in March at York Hall because it's not too far from me. So I'll be making an appearance, cheering on the lads from Queensbury. And yeah, and hopefully it will be me not too long after.
Can't wait. And do you have a message for those fans? Not only are they going to tune in on BT Sport to see you, but travel to wherever the venue is when you finally make your BT debut.
Yeah, just want to say thank you so much for your support. Honestly, you won't be disappointed. It's going to be a lot of fireworks, a lot of aggression, a lot of punches, and you'll have a great time. But thanks so much for all the support so far and getting me to where I am on my journey. I couldn't have done it without you.
Brilliant. Raven, I want to say thank you for taking your time to speak to us today.
No, thanks so much for having me.
Anytime, and I'll see you at your call.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, I'll see you there.
Take care. Stay safe.
Bye.